morning, WW Robinson. Today is March 12th, 2019, and I have Anna with me this morning. How are you, Anna?
Good.
Ready for a great Tuesday?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your day off yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. It was very nice outside this weekend. Hopefully lots of kids went outside and ran around and played and got some fresh air. All right. It is day 2 in our rotation, and tell us what's for lunch today.
Corn dog nuggets, peas and carrots, vegetable juice, pears, mixed fruit, and choice milk.
All right. Sounds like a good lunch. And Miss Proctor got so excited about getting ready this morning that she forgot to find out the names of her weather person and her flag person. So let me have Weather come on over, and you'll have to tell us your name when you get over here too. So come on over here. All right. I'll hold this up for you so we can see you. What's your name?
Mary.
Mary, how are you, Mary? I like your kitty cat shirt. Mary, can you tell everybody what's the weather today?
Sunny.
It is sunny. And this morning when we were getting this out, we had a hard time finding it because it's never sunny. So yay, it's a sunny day. All right, there you go. Thank you. And we have somebody here to do the pledge. So please stand and we'll find out who this nice young lady is that's going to lead us in the pledge this morning. What's your name? Savannah. All right, Savannah. Put this hand on your heart and you're ready to go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Savannah. Good job. Please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, we have some birthdays today. Celebrating a birthday on the 12th, we have Emma Curtis, Elijah Dunham, Jocelyn Guzman Martin, Brianna Marston, Nevaeh Ogle, Aiden Shockey, Ethan Street, and Hunter Wetzel. So happy birthday to those folks. And then we also have a staff birthday. If you see Miss Knitter, tell her happy birthday today. We have a couple announcements. First off, Miss Dingis's class won the Coke Points and Box Top Challenge. So congratulations to Miss Dingis's class. Science Buddies meet tomorrow. So make sure that you are ready to stay after school tomorrow. And there is no chorus today. Mr. Perry is sick, so no chorus today. Am I forgetting any announcements, Anna? I think that's it.
Yeah.
Do you have some shout outs?
Ellie Wetzel in Mr. Art's class, Kinley Hoover in Mr. Art's class, Sophie Borden in Mr. Art's class, Harper Griffin in Miss Lennon's class, and then my two cousins, Elvie and Bryce.
All right. So we're going to read a little bit this morning. I'm not sure where I left off, so we'll just start right here. You know, if I may speak my mind. Oh, now you're going to ask me? Very funny, Benjamin. What I was about to say before I was so rudely interrupted was your mom seems very involved in your life. She is, but that's because I'm sick a lot. Yes, I figured that was why she showed up at the hospital that night to check on you while you were sleeping. What are you talking about? She did not. She did too. It was around midnight and you were asleep. She came in, pulled the covers up over you and kissed you on your forehead. It was a very sweet moment and made me miss my own mother back in Tennessee. How do you know? Because I was there, and I'm a very light sleeper. Even when I'm asleep, I can hear stuff that's going on. It's a dog thing. You wouldn't understand. And I don't have the time or the patience to explain it to you. Now, we should stop with all this dilly-dallying and head back to class. I want to stay on Miss Blaine's good side. I liked her from the moment I smelled her. I want to go see why my mom is there. Maybe you shouldn't. From here, it's hard to tell if she's even in the car. Maybe she's just parked it there. Oh, and you can't tell with all your heightened dog senses? I would think you could smell whether she's in there or not. Elvis didn't respond, which meant he knew she was in there and was just trying to get me back to class. I walked over to the car and knocked on the window. My mom was watching a movie on her phone, and I startled her. She screamed and threw her phone up in the air. She has good reflexes, so she caught it, and she rolled down the window. Benji, for goodness sakes, get out of the street. Go around to the other side of this right this second. I ran around to the passenger side, opened the door, and climbed in. I told Elvis to wait outside. This was a conversation between my mother and son, not mother, son, and nosy dog. Mom, what are you doing? I was watching a movie. I saw that, but why are you parked outside the school watching a movie? Benji, shouldn't you be in class? I finished my work, and Miss Blaine said I could take Elvis outside. Well, shouldn't you be getting back? I don't want her to worry. Mom, answer the question. Sometimes I sit outside the school. Why? Benji, you'll understand this when you're older and have kids of your own, but sometimes you just need to be close to the ones you're worried about. Did you come back to the hospital after book club? What? Did you come back and check on me after book club and not tell me? How do you know that? It doesn't matter how I know. I just want to know if it's true. Benji, you're my baby. Mom, I'm not your... Don't interrupt me. You are my baby because you're my last child. And even though you're not allowed to ever talk about this again, I want to tell you something. You were really sick a lot when you were young. Really sick. And honestly, it scared me because I don't know what I would have done if you didn't get better. So you were sick in the NICU and they wouldn't let me stay in there all night. And sometimes when I couldn't sleep at night because I wasn't with you, I'd drive to the hospital and just sit outside in the parking lot so that if you needed me, I'd be close by. It's a mother's job to be close by in case her kids need her. So here I am. I didn't really know what to say to that. I had never heard my mother talk to me about myself like that before. She almost seemed like she was going to cry. I was more than a little freaked out. I should go back to class now. Okay. I love you, Mom. I love you too, Benji. I love you too, Benji. And don't forget, I'm going to be 11 in 7 months, which is only 2 years away from being a teenager. I know. And thanks for letting me get a dog. You're welcome. Getting an awesome note in class has its pros and cons. The pros are it makes you feel special. It's cool to have a secret. And it gives you something to think about besides whatever is being taught in class. The con is that it puts you under a great deal of stress to write back a note as good as you received. As this was the very first note that I'd ever received in class, I didn't have experience on how to write a response. And since the response was going to be the very first note that I ever wrote in class in my whole entire life, I felt like it had to be perfect because I was going to remember it for the rest of my life. Or I'd remember it at least for a while. So during the rest of math, I couldn't concentrate. I kept thinking of what would make the coolest opening to my note. Dear Tazy. Nah, too boring. Dearest Tazy. No way, too girly. And it sounded like those black and white movies my mom sometimes watches. Yo, Tazy. That sounded cooler, but it didn't sound like me at all. Yo, Tazy. No, that sounded like I was calling her a yo-yo. And what if she asked if I could yo-yo? And then I'd have to admit that I was no good at a no good yo-yo at all. I suppose I could just try Tazy. T-dog. T-bird. T-M. Elvis suggested T-bone, but that's because he had a dog and was just thinking about steak. Note to self, never ask a dog's opinion when he's hungry. Hey, Taze. Oh, that sounded good. Casual, yet cool. Friendly, but not overeager. After much agonizing, that's exactly what I ended up with. Dear Tazy. Now I had 2 words. A blank piece of paper and a sweaty pencil. Eventually, I decided to stop worrying so much, be myself, and hope for the best. Short and sweet. I mean, it's not like she was expecting Shakespeare. At least I hope she wasn't. This is what I wrote. Dear Tazy, how are you? I'm fine. Thank you for your note. Yes, Elvis and I would find it cool to meet Princess Daisy. I'm sure Princess Daisy is cuter than Elvis because she's smaller and drools a lot less. Elvis doesn't have any dog friends yet, so it would be nice for him to meet. It would be nice for them to meet. Okay, I should get back to math now because these problems aren't going to solve themselves. Ha ha. Sincerely, Benji and Elvis. My mom once bought me an origami kit during one of my hospital stays. stays. So I know how to make a crane, a camera, a balloon that you can actually blow up, and a frog. I decided to use my skills on Daisy's note. I wished I knew how to fold the note into a flower, but that was kind of complicated. I decided to fold it into a little frog, and when I finished, you could press the butt down with your finger, and it would hop like a little frog. After I was done folding it up, I wrote her name on its back. Now I just had to figure out how I was going to get it to her. I whispered to Elvis to see if he had any ideas. Elvis said that he was not going to be an accomplice to bad behavior. Fine, if you don't want to have tea with Princess Daisy, then that's okay with me. I'll bet there'll be scones. I don't even know what a scone is, but I've heard my mom talk about them, and she says they're delicious. I figured since Elvis was Mr. Fancy Pants, he probably knew all about tea and scones. Fine, but we'll do it before lunch. And speaking of, I hear if you actually pay attention in school, you might learn more. I stuck my tongue out at him in response. What he didn't know was that before today, all I ever did in school was learn. Right before lunch, Elvis showed his face in my face and licked me. Put the note in my mouth. Oh, you'll get it gross and wet. He licked his tongue dry on my pants. Now do it. This is the driest my tongue gets. I placed the frog on his tongue and watched as he trotted over to the back of the class. He stopped behind Daisy's chair. She turned to pet him, and he must have opened his mouth to stick out his tongue because I saw her look around quickly and grab the note. She then fawned all over Elvis, pressing her face into his black velvety cheek while also rubbing his furry nose at the same time. He clearly loved it. He wagged his tail so hard he whacked the globe right off the table behind him. Before anyone could react, the bell rang, and everyone made a break for the door. And we will stop there for today, so you can choose to be the kind of leader that you would follow and make it a great day. So long.